Let's talk about the blue zones, all these native tribes that seem to have perfect health, longevity. When you analyze these people, you truly can see what true health means and what human body is capable of when it comes to longevity and health. And their big secret with the blue zones, with the tribes that live naturally, the big secret is that nobody wants you to know is they all eat raw chicken. Can you believe it? You've been lied to all of your life. They all eat raw chicken every single day, just like me. It's amazing. No, but really, I was lying to you. How good is my lying skills? I think pretty bad. But really, we have been lied to with the blue zones. Back in my vegan days, like 7 years ago, it was this big thing by the vegan influencers and doctors to go that the blue zones eat mostly plant-based, a lot of vegetables, eat the rainbow, a lot of beans, and they really don't eat meat, only like once a day. But then, that actually don't make any sense if you know what people used to eat. Even in your cultures, they don't have to be blue zones, but everybody ate like this like 100 years ago. And when you know what people ate, and then when people actually go to the blue zones, go to the Okinavas, Ikaria, all these places, the Seventh-day Adventists in California, they are one bit different. But these other places, these tribes also, who live very healthily, actually, they almost eat no vegetables at all. And if they do, it's all self-grown in their own gardens with no pesticides, no bullshit, no GMO shit. But they actually, like most of their diet is meat and dairy. They cook everything with a lot of fat. In Okinawa and Ikaria, they mostly use pork fat, lard, like they cook everything in lard. They eat a lot of dairy, and in Ikaria they eat a lot of goats and sheep. Wow! And these people live without any diseases, that like they're still very capable people, very healthy people up in their 80s, 90s, some even to the hundreds, and they mostly die of old age, same as the tribes like the Maasai tribe. The Maasai tribe eat mostly blood and milk and meat, very little vegetables. They are hyper carnivores, and the thing is, they eat some cooked meat, some raw meat. Most of them blue zones probably eat cooked meat a lot, but they eat all of it. They eat the organs. They use the blood maybe for some blood sausages, blood pancakes and stuff. They eat the brains, they eat the livers, the spleen, thymus, lungs. They use everything. They make broth out of the bones. I'm gonna link a couple very good interviews with the Mary, what is his last name? Radic or something. This girl is nutritionist, and he's been going to all these blue zones and lived there a little bit, a couple of weeks, some places even more. And he actually interviews people, goes to see there what they are eating. Because there are this Netflix documentary that just came out about the blue zones. They went to Okinawa and they kind of make it seem like the Okinawans eat purple sweet potatoes or whatever, a lot of vegetables, but in In fact, they eat mostly pork, like very fatty pork. And when they do eat the vegetables or starches, they cook it with a lot of lard. They eat a lot of fish. And then when I listen to this, like for example, the Ikaria, which is the island in the Greece island, in the Mediterranean, and the Sardinia is the same. That's one of the blue zones. The whole Mediterranean is basically the same. Like what you think Mediterranean diet is not what it actually is. When you think about Italian diet, you think about tomatoes and all this shit, olive oil. Like yeah, they eat some olive oil, but they mostly use butter, dairy, a lot of cheeses, a lot of lard also. Tomatoes came from America, or maybe only like 50 to 70 years ago to Europe. That's like very new thing. Like hundreds of years before, they had no tomatoes. They had a lot less vegetables actually, like zucchinis and stuff that came from America. So what you think about Mediterranean diet is, these blue zone diets in Mediterranean, it's actually not that. And then you can kind of think about why is that. The Mary, his nutritionist, he reads the science. He talked about this study in 2009 about the Icarians, and it's epidemiological study, so they can just like ask what they do daily. They are not actually like measuring stuff and sheet. And when they in the questionnaire, they didn't have like lamb meat or goat meat, maybe even not pork. They only had red meat, and she was telling like that means in the Greece only beef. Like when we do red meat, that's beef. So that's why they said they eat red meat only once or twice a day, which she said is even high there because they don't have beef. The beef don't have grass in the very rocky Iceland. They live in they do goats, sheep and pork and fish. So they didn't even have options in the study to put those things. They didn't, I think, even have dairy in the study. So she was kind of like, it's not a conspiracy. The people doing the study are just basically idiots, dumb. But what does that tell you about? If the people doing these longevity studies are idiots and it's not conspiracy, they are just brainwashed by the educational system. Like she didn't go there that far. But also maybe it is conspiracy. Like everybody who knows about health, longevity, knows about the blue zones. And we are like the cool thing again, like what everybody knows about the blue zones and the collective consciousness is this, that they are plant-based basically. They eat very little animal products. When it's the completely opposite, when you go there and actually talk to the old people, what their parents, their grandparents said. And this is all of the tribes, like the Maasai, Hadza, all those. The same tribe, which is the Lapland tribe. Well, they are very carnivorous and they eat a lot of raw meat, also raw blood, like the Maasai. Then the second thing is, like, we have this thing about exercising and fitness being very good for longevity, but these places are super chill. Like, they are just out there in the nature, they grow their own food, like everything. And then they have very big families, they see also their grandkids all the time, their kids all the time. Actually, it's very usual there. The community with your family is great, the love is there. And then they just basically, the pace of life It's not rat race, it's chill. It's chill vibes only in the Iceland. They get a lot of sunshine obviously there. They're grounding all the time, going to the sea. They have pretty good variety of food because they got the fish also. And a couple different animals, then they got the dairy. Then they do drink some wine, but they ferment the wine and it is unpasteurized wine, so you still got the bacteria, and when you ferment it, it's very low sugar. Many of these tribes also do the dairy fermented. That is super common. So yeah, if you wanna see the longevity stuff, that's where it is. The Maasai people usually live up to 80 to 90, and they say they don't have any diseases really. Like the tribes that actually still live somewhat naturally. Why Maasai only live 80 to 90 is probably because they are more active with their cattle. They have to move a lot more than the Iceland people who live to the hundreds. Big thing is they use the whole animal, the blood and brains, organs. We don't have that. And she was basically telling like they don't have any of the problems there that we have. Like physical problems, mental problems. Everybody has like great vibe, very loving people. Like the children don't have the temper tantrums. They don't wake up in the night all the time. They are super easygoing children. They don't have the ADHD, all that shit. Their hormone levels are perfect. Their blood sugar is perfect. She has also measured these tribes' blood pressure and ketones and stuff, and everybody had the same. She said, like, we don't know anything about perfect health. And that's, when you look around, that's how it is. And when you've been there, you actually seen these people, been with them, felt them. Just look how they are, what they do, how they be. She said that the difference is so big. And the more traditional they are, like more, she said about the Maasai that the people who drank the most blood, fresh blood there, were the healthiest. Makes sense. We don't get fresh blood. Where is that? We used to, even in this city I live in is famous about the blood sausages. Like we still get them, but we don't get the fresh blood that it's made out of. I can get frozen blood, but it's not that good. Yeah. Check out the interviews, they're very good if you're interested about health and longevity and what to actually eat as a human being to be somewhat normal. Anyway, I'm out of raw chicken, so see you on the next one.